with the shrieks of women, living women, wailing. You are a man, not a god, I know. We all know this. The young kneeling before you know it too. But we know how great you are, Oedipus, greater than any man.
Sophocles adheres to the cries of women and children. He implies that it is solely a man's duty to take care of them. This perspective poses the following questions. Are women simply incapable of taking care of themselves and others? Are women intended to be dependent on men? These questions shed light on the concept of double standards, a commonly used notion that sums up the gender inequity evident in society. But what are double standards? Essentially, they are qualities defining societal perception of two contrasting groups or people, one over another. For thousands of years, these double standards carelessly portray women in a negative light, in the media, in everyday life, and in society as a whole. In today's society, women are still subjected to these double standards and face relentless pressures every day of their lives. Despite the vast improvements to women's rights from the suffrage movements in its inception, women still face difficulties because of their gender.
For instance, women are still not paid the same salary as men employed for the same job. Comparing the annual earnings by gender, working-class women in Canada earned an average of 60 cents for every dollar earned by men in 2016. In fact, Canada is ranked number 8 out of 43 countries for having the highest gender pay gap. Not to mention that the decisions particular to a woman's relationship are heavily judged and stigmatized. For example, women who have had sexual relations with multiple men are discriminated against. They are called degrading names and are frowned upon. At the same time, when men are associated with multiple women, they are rewarded. They wear their status like a badge of honor, while many women feel the need to hide their supposed vices in order to protect themselves from society's perception of them.
The media is to blame for promoting these stereotypes and the perpetual cycle of gender inequity. Advertisements often sexualize women as a means of catching the attention of its viewers. Women in the public eye are criticized and receive backlash for wearing an outfit that is deemed too revealing or too flattering for one's body. In 2016, Gemma Laird, a teaching assistant at Bloemfontein Primary School, was fired after her modeling portfolio was made public, despite the school's prior knowledge of her modeling work. The school feared she would tarnish their reputation and encouraged her students to pursue such a career in modeling, treating Laird as if she were a prostitute. A few days later, Pietro Boselli, a math lecturer at University College London, had his modeling career exposed when he went viral on Twitter. He is widely praised for being the supposed world's hottest teacher and became the face of a Giorgio Armani campaign. Women bear the burden of constantly being at fault. They are depicted as culprits and instigators in any conflict. When they commit the same faults or sins as men, women are forced to face the consequences of their actions, while men are insatiably reprimanded. Going back to Oedipus the king, Sophocles puts blame for unfortunate events entirely on Jocastus' inability to cope with the truth. He employs diction and shifts to a sympathetic tone, which makes the reader sympathize with Oedipus.
Burst out what will. I shall know my origin, mean though it be. Jocasta perhaps, she's proud, like a woman, feels shame at the low circumstances of my birth. But I count myself the son of good chance, the giver of success. I shall not be dishonored. Such is my lineage, and I shall not betray it. Oedipus's statement suggests that it is in Jocastus' nature as a female to be ashamed. He implies that women are more susceptible to the pressures of society because of their pride. Jocastus' dismissal of the truth is ironically what caused the truth to come out anyways, and because of this, the blame is placed on her.
Women are strong. They fight in this never-ending battle for equality. Just within the last few decades, society has begun to acknowledge the power that women possess. But how can we close this gender gap?
As a society, we've evolved to promote female empowerment and are working towards equality. This gender gap exists because of the pre-existing idea that women are subpar. If we continue to believe that equality can be attained solely through the words of a prominent figure in society, gender inequality will continue to exist. Actions speak louder than words. For women who have just been given this voice, these actions matter. Change will not occur until we believe the words that we tell ourselves to be true.